begin by taking a deep breath. Swipe it to the left. Let's begin by taking a deep breath together. Let's breathe in peace. And exhale that peace. Let's breathe in healing. And exhale healing. And so we join together this evening. I'm not going to open with prayer, but I am going to end with a very powerful affirmative prayer for all of us. So I am, as I said before, so thrilled that you joined us this evening. And I'm especially happy because it's been 6 weeks since I have been able to deliver one of my messages. And I got my voice back and I am feeling strong. So I have something I think is for everyone this evening. But in those 6 weeks, everything on this planet changed. Everything. There is nothing that didn't change. Our whole way of living and being. And this is a planetary shift. So the COVID-19 pandemic has changed every aspect of the way we live our lives. We're always talking about and discussing how change takes a lot of courage sometimes. We don't like change. We like to be in that comfort zone. We have been completely ejected out of our comfort zone, and we are in the great unknown. And in the unknown, as we talk about on Sunday services, that's where God is. That's where everything is. And if you think about it, life itself is always unknown. We think that we know. We think that we know. So we're in a comfort zone, we think we know, and wham, life happens. Well, it's happening for all of us, right here and right now. So I want us to really know that conditions and experiences like this always pass. We've always said that all conditions pass, and this too shall pass, but we will never go back to the way we were, and that can be a blessing. So hang with me till I get to the end of my talk, and you'll understand what I mean by this. Because through this whole pandemic, we feel like we're in the unknown. Well, in the unknown is fear, but it is also our choice to turn inward to where all possibilities reside. And they all reside within us. Every question we want answered, truly, is within each and every one of us. And it takes great courage to go through change. It takes enormous courage to move through this. But I'm going to give you some ways of really coping and moving more in ease in this moment. So, change happens, right? What are the options? You get to choose. And I hope that this makes it clearer for you. Tonight we're going to explore the evolution and walk the evolutionary road side by side, hand in hand, virtually of course, but that's what we are going to do. We're going to be here to support each other. Has anyone ever been on a roller coaster? My greatest fear is a roller coaster, and you get all the way to the top, and that feeling of just, for me it's terror, for some people it's excitement, but you grab on to the person next to you, or you grab on to anyone that is in your area, at least I do, and that's what this can feel like. It can feel like we are on a roller coaster, but that support of grabbing onto someone is still available for all of us. That's what I want us to know. We need to be supported all of us need support. I need you as much as you need this community, Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. We are all one, and this is bringing it home, that's for sure. So we are taking a leap in evolution right now. And trust me, as you well know, this has been kind of mind-blowing, but why not mind-blowing in a good way? Blow up those old ideas of the way we've been functioning and just start to create, because we can. We can create a new way of thinking, a new way of being in this world. This is an experience that can change and should change our whole paradigm, our whole way of being. And I want you to know that this community, Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center, has all kinds of community events during the week, as I said before, all on Zoom. And just go to joyfulgathering.org, you'll see them all. We are here for our community. Our practitioners, their names are on our website and their phone numbers. Call them if you find yourself really needing prayer. Every one of them are there for you. So our Saturday night event, service, will be taking place until whenever, right? Until whenever. So what is happening right here and right now is that we are truly being pushed into an evolutionary leap. We're not here by accident. We have been appointed to be here at this particular time in this human evolution, in this human experience. We're here for a reason. Let us really go within and check out what that reason is. Oh. I'm going to quote from an author, Andrew Cohen, when he said, "If we want to evolve, we must have the spiritual self-confidence, heroic will, tenacity, courage, and commitment to fearlessly engage with the evolutionary process until something profound, mysterious, and extraordinary happens that cannot be undone." And I feel like what is taking place right now cannot be undone. This is the new normal, and we don't even know what it is yet. But think about this, we get to create it. And that, to me, is extremely exciting. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, 19th century mystic and poet, wrote this: "There is almost a sensual longing for communion with others who have a large vision. The immense fulfillment of the friendship between those engaged in furthering the evolution of consciousness has a quality impossible to describe." And we are all in, as I said before, this evolutionary growth cycle. And we're in it together. If there was any doubt, there's only one. This should really, truly bring home the unity of our global community. So, no matter how great your life has become, no matter how available that you are to the great laws of life, we are still evolving. That is, the divine, God itself, is always evolving, always becoming more. And since we're creations of that one mind, that one life, it's our natural state to always be evolving, a longing to become more, to do more, to reach out. And that's what we're doing right now, if we choose. So this also from Andrew Cohen's Evolution. His book's called Evolutionary Enlightenment. What most of us are unaware of is that every time we choose to avoid, we are holding back the current of the evolutionary impulse. Just listen to this. This is good. That surge of enlightened energy and intelligence from working through us. So when we begin to awaken and to intuit that the very purpose of this human incarnation is to cooperate with that impulse, to become nothing less than partners in this creative process. Our spiritual obligation is to remove all the barriers to our own potential for higher development by facing everything and avoiding nothing at all times, in all places, under all circumstances. This is really hard to avoid what is going on right now, and so we are facing it. We are facing it. Our evolution is taking place in real time, but we must remain centered. This is key. We must remain centered in that indwelling divine self. It's within all of us. We have within us that divinity, that God self, and we must deepen even closer to it. We must know and believe, and I really mean all circumstances, not just a few. All circumstances must change. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. They are not permanent, but that divinity within us is permanent. It's our eternal selves. And here are some questions that I thought, hey, maybe you want to ask yourself, check in with yourself. Have we cultivated our personal relationship with the God of our understanding? Have we? Have we really? How deep is our faith? Is it only there when things are going good? Or is it there now when we need it? How deep is our faith? And do we really believe that the universe is the source and always supports us? Now is the time to really use the tools that we practice all the time in our spiritual community, that we speak of, that we talk and discuss in depth about. Now is the time to truly use these tools. And if you don't believe any of the things I'm saying, prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself. The answers only can exist within you. Your answer exists within you as my answers exist within me, and I connect with the God of my highest understanding. That's where the peace is. Our spiritual teachers say God is love. In fact, most religions tell us that God is love. Ernest Holmes, I want you to hear this. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science of mind, wrote this: we need a new understanding. We might ask ourselves, what does God have to do with love? This is an important question because the common idea is that love is God and God is love, right? This is Ernest Holmes. And to many of us, spiritual love means compassion, forgiveness, and unconditional acceptance. That is one kind of love. But that kind of love is the expression of God as being. Okay, get this. This is really good. God as being, okay? The reflection of the mystical revelation that everything is already perfect. We say that all the time. It's all perfect, whole, complete, and perfect. Okay. What happens to love when God becomes the evolutionary impulse? That's the emergence of a very different form of love. This is all Holmes. The expression of God as becoming. In an evolutionary worldview, God's purpose is perpetual development. So in this context, the expression of the greatest love is an insistence on a higher development. Stay with me on this, because this is him writing in the 1930s. It is a different kind of love that always wants more and is therefore always challenging the status quo of the personal ego. And no matter how far you have come, there will always be farther to go. This love is infused with the evolutionary tension, and it generates creative friction. I know it's a lot, it's a big mouthful, but the idea, Holmes had it. Holmes had the idea of how to get through anything like this, these major changes in life. Always becoming more is what we were created for. When we're stagnant, the life isn't flowing. And I don't care if you're quarantined in a house, self-isolated, like we are right here. It's still becoming more. I've learned more in the last, I would say 2 months, because I'm including everything that I went through in my 6 weeks of cleansing my body. So I went through so many lessons, and they continue every moment of every day. So it's becoming more, and this is what we all are being called to do if we choose to answer that call. Cohen also wrote, "The last thing we want to do is act out of some unconscious motive in such a way that would obstruct our higher development." What most of us are unaware of is that every time we choose to avoid, every time that we push something away, that we are holding back the current of the evolutionary impulse, that surge of enlightened energy and intelligence from working through us. It is always working through us. We know that what we give our attention to is what is going to magnify in our lives, and we will never get to peace. We all want peace, right? We all want peace. Not going to get to peace if we have that TV on 12 hours a day, blasting out the same thing over and over again. You're not going to get to peace that way. You're going to get to more chaos, more fear. And you know you can't think straight when you're in the middle of fear. I know. I've had anxiety attacks. I know what fear is. I've had many fear things. But to get through it is to be in this now moment and take that breath. That's the breath of life breathing us. That's what we got to remember. That's what will push us in this evolutionary process that we're all going through right now. So how do we open up to the divine good? We talk about it. It's always good. God is good. God is love. God is life. Okay, now let's prove it to ourselves. Let's really live that. The first thing we really must do is to bring our focus to this now moment. I cannot say that enough, because we know that fear, worry, and doubt are in the future, right? We know this. We can make our plans for the future in the now moment, but make them in peace, so that that which we experience later on in another now moment will be peace. It won't be that same chaos, that same confusion. Remember, every time we think that something is impossible, just remember that the definition of impossible is I am possible. And that's the spiritual truth of who each and every one of us are. I am possible. We all are. So, cutting my talks short, simply because they're on video though, but I want to end it with, I believe that each and every one of us is here to serve a significant purpose on our planet, or we would not be here at this exact moment in time. So I'm asking all of us, let's join together in our hearts, in our minds, which is through our thoughts, in our very souls. Let us join together. Let us care for Mother Earth. Look at what's going on now. She's cleansing. Mother Earth is cleansing. Let's care for the planet on which we live. Let's live our lives showing more kindness. The Dalai Lama said, my only religion is kindness. Let's make it our religion also. So the biggest thing I want us to do is to continue to spread the love, to continue to show that kindness, to continue to take care of ourselves, and to join with communities all over the planet. I know there's a big meditation going on this evening. I think it's at 10:30 or something. It's on my Facebook timeline, but I would like us all to join in that, because that is way over 1 million people coming together to hold consciousness. Isn't that beautiful? This is really a planetary shift, a global shift. We are one. We are one. So I wish you all to be well and to stay safe. But I want to go into prayer. So let us take a deep breath now. As we go into prayer, and we're going to pray for continued peace, for absolute healing, for the knowing that God is our source and supply of all the good there could possibly be. I open my mind, my heart, my very soul, my being, to receive the lessons and the experiences and all that I am meant to receive at this particular time in my life. For I know that the good of God is always available. The love of God is always available. The infinite potential of divine mind fills each and every one of us. And so we step forward. We step forward at this time. And we support each other. We show loving kindness. We are there to help where we can. And I absolutely know in this prayer that we are moving in a direction that will forever change the way we have lived our lives, the new normal. It will shift us into a consciousness, a true oneness consciousness that we have never achieved before. So what seems like chaos and destruction and the falling down of financial institutions and businesses and all of that is so that we can rebuild ourselves. We can rebuild ourselves and rebuild our planet. God bless all of us, truly, as we go through these times. Be easy on ourselves. We ask that the divine love move through each and every one of us, that support, that divine right order is the truth of our lives. And I give thanks. I am so deeply grateful to be a part of this virtual community, which in consciousness we're all one anyway. I am so grateful for these spiritual tools that are in my spiritual tool belt waiting to be used. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Each one that joined us this evening and each one that might see this later on. Thank you. And thank you, God, as I release this word in all of its power into the loving law of universal mind that takes this word and brings forth the most perfect manifestation for each and every one of us. God bless us all, truly. Namaste.